Mi Lao Shu, Mickey Hiri, Musa Pig. He goes by many names, the most infamous one being Mickey Mouse.
Alright, gentlemen, I want you to repeat after me just how I do it. Ready? Your turn.
A second family has come forward claiming a Disneyland character ignored their children because of the color of their skin.
Good golly. Bring it around now. Ladies. Good golly. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Mr. Charlie Puth on keys?
His origin is somewhat mysterious, but the impact this character made was highly influential. Mickey Mouse was created in 1928 by Walt Disney and iWorks, which quickly became a popular animated character of the 1920s, alongside Betty Boop, Felix the Cat, and Bugs Bunny. Mickey really started to gain popularity though in the 1950s, which is most likely due to his wholesome design, the Mickey Mouse Club, and airing shorts of Mickey. Also, it helps that Mickey before 1950 had a total of 131 of those shorts. Cut to now, and Mickey Mouse's net worth is 171 billion. No, I'm not here to praise Mickey. I'm here to see the hidden secrets of Mickey Mouse and what lies under the rubble. Propaganda is biased information used to promote something or someone due to a political standpoint or point of view. Many people think propaganda is a terrible, evil thing, but that's not entirely true. If I go into the street and tell everyone that I think the Mickey x Pluto fanfiction is the best thing I have ever read, that would be considered as propaganda. In 1942, Disney made a short film with Mickey leading a marching band with Pinocchio, Donald Duck, Pluto, the Seven Dwarfs, and their family to encourage Canadians to buy war bonds. And others such as Donald Gets Drafted, Out of the Frying Pan into the Firing Line, and Education of Death, The Making of a Nazi. Now, I'm not saying promoting helping with the war is bad. I'm saying forcing politics down people's throats and using popular characters to have an effect on people's decisions is wrong. Now, let me step out into the firing line with what I'm about to say. An example of modern bad propaganda is the LGBTQ plus movement in television. The key word being in television, people. Please put down your pitchforks. Let me explain. Disney's first movie for that year was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Disney did plan on having I'm just going to say L+, because saying LGBTQ+ is a lot to say, L+ character in this movie, but removed it as to avoid getting the movie banned in other countries. The reason for me bringing this up is why was there an L+ character to begin with in this. Okay, the next movie in the lineup is Next Goal Wins, who has a transgender character in it. You might be saying that 2 L+ movies don't mean anything. You're right, but 3 of them does. In the Little Mermaid remake, Ursula is depicted as queer. Elemental, Larian Lake. The Marvels, Valkyrie, Haunted Mansion. The little black boy is supposed to be the director who is gay, which has a non-binary character. From the 9 Disney movies in 2023, 8 of them had an L+ character, except the main character in Wish. The L+ characters do literally jack shit. There is no reason for them to be there. I'm not discriminating these people. I am just pointing out the obvious as to why they are there in the movie to begin with, when they are not centered around their sexual preference. Okay, that part was a little too controversial for my liking, so let's talk about the creepypasta of Mickey himself. Now, since I can't say a certain word or YouTube will ban me into the shadow realm, I'm just gonna say slip on a banana peel instead. Also known as slip on a banana peel mouse.avi is a simple video with Mickey walking down a street in black and white. In the background, there's a sporadic piano playing. As the video goes on, Mickey's mouth widens to an uncomfortable smile. The screen goes black. The first known origin of this video was posted by Neck1 on November 25th, 2009. The description of this video says more than the actual video itself. The following is that description. So do any of you remember those Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 1930s? The ones that were just put out on DVD a few years ago? Well, I hear that there is one that was unreleased to even the most avid classic Disney fans. Then it describes what happens in the video. Up until a year or two ago, everybody believed that after it cut to black, that was it. When Leonard Martin was reviewing the cartoon to be put in the complete series, Leonard Martin is an American film critic that has also worked on series for Disney's classics. He decided it was too junk to be on DVD, but wanted a digital copy since Walt made it, and discovered that the runtime was 9 minutes and 4 seconds. But this video is only 7 minutes and 6 seconds. I did find a video on the same subject on a different account, which was exactly 9 minutes and 4 seconds, called Slip on a Banana Peel Mouse. The account is called Slip on a Banana Peel Mouse AVI. I started this video at 7 minutes and 6 seconds. The screen began to warp with a deathly It looked like faces. Tries to appear only for a few seconds though, and as the video goes on, the screaming becomes louder. As the video warps faster. On the Slip on a Banana Peel Mouse wiki, there's a wiki for everything apparently. There is a comment by Alarcon E14 saying this creepypasta was inspired by a Disney comic made in the 1930s of Minnie falling in love with another animal, which made Mickey very depressed to the point of, but he failed every time, so he decided to just roam the streets. A commenter below linked a website that showed this comic actually existing in real life. Sadly, I couldn't zoom in to read the comic, so I just used Photoshop. The comic goes as follows.
Oh, Mickey, show me how to make this shot. I'm stuck.
Oh, some baby.
Mickey struggles to show Minnie how to make said shot.
Let's see, how can you make this?
A stranger comes up and says,
I'll show you how to do it, little lady. This sort of thing is right in my line.
The stranger perfectly hits the shot with Minnie in awe. Mickey and Minnie go to a restaurant when the stranger from earlier appears.
My friends from the golf course, you're just in time to have lunch with me. I'll sit right down.
Why, hello, Mr. Slicker.
This chicken is terrible. What's wrong with it?
Well, you see, it was in a fight, sir.
A guy from a different table winks at Minnie, so she says,
Mickey, look at that big thing trying to flirt with me.
I'll put a stop to it.
That for you. I'll look the dame over all I pleases.
The guy smashes Mickey's head in
Oh, you will you?
while throwing a custard pie. Minnie and Slicker leave Mickey to pay the bill as they walk home. The next day, Slicker cuts the flowers Mickey tried to give Minnie at her doorstep. While Mickey was listening from the other side of the fence, Slicker asked,
By the way, who's the little run who's always tagging around with you?
but Minnie stayed quiet. Minnie showed Slicker her family photos. Mickey thought he saw Slicker and Minnie kissing via shadows. He went back to his house, took the gun off the wall, and tried to shoot himself. But before he could pull the trigger, his cuckoo clock went off, making Mickey throw the gun away. Mickey stands off the side of a bridge, but when he jumps, Mickey lands on a steamboat. When the captain is about to throw him off, Mickey protests, saying he can't swim and he might drown. Mickey goes back home and turns on gas to make him go away peacefully. But then a mouse shows up and uses the gas to fill his balloon. The balloon pops though. The next day, Mickey carries an anvil to the side of a cliff, wanting to do a little swimming, when a fish says it's too cold, so Mickey leaves. He goes into a forest to tie rope around a tree, which when animals go to him, and he makes it into a swing instead. Drama. Melodrama is an old word for. The film goes as follows. Mickey and his friends are making a play that involves slave owners and slaves. So some of the crew in the movie blackface themselves to get into character. It includes Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is a popular book made in 1852 and has said to lay the groundwork for the Civil War. I do see how this could be interpreted as racial scrutiny, like many people have said, but at least it made people think about slavery and what it's really like. An example involving a more culturistic aspect is the 1953 Peter Pan. When hearing the name, you either know exactly what I'm talking about, or you have no idea where I'm going with this. Nevertheless, I'm bringing attention to the Native Americans being portrayed as who sing a barely audible song with screaming, which then they share a pipe the children also take a huff of. It also doesn't help with the racist allegations that when doing an interview for 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Walt refers to the scene when the dwarves are playing, then piling on top of each other. Gabler does protest against Walt being racist unlike other people of his time. He was just racially insensitive, meaning Walt wasn't discriminating racist. No. He just didn't care about the people who did, which I mean isn't much better. Song of the South is a musical made by Walt Disney and RKO Radio Pictures. The film takes place in Georgia during the abolition era of slavery. A 7-year-old named Johnny
Here's Johnny!
is staying at his grandmother's house with her plantation. A plantation is the name of a work site for slaves. Johnny befriends an old slave who he calls Uncle Remus. Johnny took joy in hearing his stories and adventures. Personally, I have not seen the movie myself, so I cannot give much of an opinion on it. But from the synopsis I just gave, it sounds like a good musical. However, the National Association of the Advancement of Colored People thought otherwise. They said it was filming stereotypical black people. There are other Disney films accused of racism, but they're grasping at straws when talking about them. In 1938, the Walt Disney Company sent a rejection letter to Mary Ford, which stated, "Girls are not considered for creative positions." In 2009, Ford's grandson uploaded the letter to Flickr, an image and video hosting website. Meryl Streep, who is an actor who's won many awards, she once referenced the letter saying, "It must have killed Disney to encounter a woman, an equally disdainful and superior creature, a person dismissive of his own considerable gifts and prodigious output and
Imagination.
While, yes, Disney Studios should have never had that mentality with women, attacking men doesn't help. After all, you can't put out fire with fire. Also, the letter has nothing to do with supposedly Walt being dismissive of his talents. In my opinion, she said Walt having talents and being a prodigy so people wouldn't be as furious at her. In response to Meryl Streep's comment, Floyd Newman said much has changed and changed for the better. Many film critics have said that Disney films have ignored feminist ideals, like having women being in the kitchen and making women look petite and skinny. Yes, I agree with Disney films having many petite women, which is what modern media portrays to be the perfect woman. With that being said, the main reason women are pictured this way is force of habit. Many animated young women have been drawn this way for a long time. The crew spends less time on the body structure of women, men, children, etc. because they're faced with a more concerning issue, diluting the original story. Original fairy tales are dark and grim. That's why if you read the book instead of the children's movies, there'll be polar opposites, since the writers have to cut out half the fairy tale since it's so gruesome, and come up with ideas that fit in with the rest of the movie. The most popular film that people have accused Disney for plagiarizing is the 1994 Lion King, which critics alleged was plagiarized from Osamu Tezuka's Japanese manga called Jungle Emperor in English. Osamu also made a TV show of Jungle Emperor retitled Kimba the White Lion from 1965 to 1966. After the show ended, The Lion King was made. Audiences soon recognized the similarities from Kimba, such as the two main protagonists were named Kimba and Simba. There were two evil lions named One-Eyed Claw and Scar. There were also two baboons, Donnell Baboon and Rafiki, a pair of birds named Polly Cracker and Zazu. Robert Minkoff was a co-director for The Lion King. During an interview when asked about the similarities, Robert said, "It's not unusual to have characters such as a bird, monkey, and hyenas in films set in Africa. While it's common to have native animals in movies, it's not common to have the exact four names of the main characters in two films, made by two different people who didn't talk with each other." Disney was also accused of plagiarizing the following: Atlantis the Lost Empire, with Nadia the Secret of Blue Water. The similarities were so strong that listing them would list most of the two movies. With all that being said, thank you for watching and have a good day.